What's up everyone? My name is Trey Baird and this is Gossip and Games. Forgive the different outfit, I forgot to do intros for this show. Today we're going to be talking about Psychopathic Records and the Juggalo culture. Turbo Tunnel. I came really close to beating it a minute ago. That was on my other video where I was talking about Magic Ninja Entertainment. As far as Psychopathic Records goes, it's just, things are really strange right now. And I've been following the scene ever since '97. You know, I don't say that to brag, not that it's really anything to brag about, it's just what it is. My circumstances made me fortunate enough to discover them during the Malenko era. But, you know, if your circumstances prevented you from doing so, there's no shame in that whatsoever. Or maybe you knew about them, but you didn't understand them, or they weren't for you back then, but now they are. There's nothing wrong with that. These people who make a big deal over how long you've been down, they get under my skin. They grind my gears. Because people who do that are completely missing the point. It's like Violent J said, when Carnival of Carnage came out in '91 or whatever year it came out, it sold 17 copies on its release date. There's more than 17 Juggalos now, so all of those Juggalos had to have been welcomed in at some point. It doesn't matter how long you've been down, it just matters if you are down, if you get it. And I don't know if, you know, how many people get it nowadays. I think that ICP has kind of gotten away from their message. They returned to it considerably though for The Missing Link, and I'm hoping they continue that trend for their next album. But a lot of decisions that they've made over the past recent years, they've been iffy at best. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories as to why Psychopathic makes the decisions that they do. The most common ones that I've heard is that ICP, or more specifically Violent J, gets jealous of other people's success. Almost! Hold that thought. Yeah! Video proof. It can be done. Okay. So the rumor is that Violent J is controlling behind the scenes. And it's always J, it's never Shaggy. And that he gets jealous of other people's success. This part. And, you know, I don't know anyone behind the scenes. I don't know Violent J. I don't know any of the other artists. So I can't really say whether or not these are true or not. As with most rumors, it's probably based on the truth. There probably is some truth in there. It may not be the whole truth, though. And, you know, they kind of have a contradiction going when it comes to discovering new talent anyway, because for one thing, they want to discover like brand new talent. They want to pluck artists out of obscurity. They don't even want them to have YouTube videos before they discover them. And that just narrows the playing field considerably, especially when you consider the fact that they want people with good work ethic that are responsible for their own success. Now that's a very difficult combination to find in people. Self-motivated, driven individuals who've never done anything with their careers. Ah, not good. Okay, here we go. Man, I suck. Ecto Cooler for the win. Got myself 2 6-packs of it before it was discontinued. Which, I'm bummed that it's going away, but they keep bringing it back, so I'm confident they'll bring it back again in the future. Especially considering how crazy people went for it this time. It would have sold even better than it did if they had actually gotten better distribution for it. If they could have gotten it in some convenience stores or something, and hell, maybe they did. I never saw it in any. I only saw it in just a handful of grocery stores. I only saw the cans one time. I mean, I would have bought a lot more of it in cans if I had ever found it, but alas. At any rate, the big controversy right now is with Young Wicked and Blase Rose. And with Young Wicked, it's apparently he got into a relationship with Jumpsteady's daughter. Jumpsteady is one of the bosses there. He's Violent J's brother, and there was some kind of altercation, and Jumpsteady allegedly sent Young Wicked home back to Denver. Okay, yeah, because that snowman comes back after you hit him. Oh! More snowballs. There we go. And after all of that happened between Jumpsteady and Young Wicked, allegedly Young Wicked is still on the label, but he's not acting like he is. All of the Hatchet Man logos on his social media have disappeared, and the rumor is that he signed with Magic Ninja, which, if he did, that would be a game changer for both of them, but I digress. Perhaps he wasn't released from Psychopathic, but maybe he decided to leave on his own. Maybe he was like, screw this, I am a grown-ass man. I can date whoever I want. And maybe that's not what happened at all. But this will be the third time that Young Wicked has left Psychopathic, and if it's true, and if it is true, it will have happened exactly the same way it happened the other 2 times, under a veil of secrecy, because they never tell anyone what's really going on behind the scenes. And that's because Violent J insists on running, well, there I go again. Violent J's vision, though, for Psychopathic is that it be ran like a wrestling company, because they're big wrestling fans since childhood. And in wrestling, there's a thing called kayfabe, where you pretend that the show is real in order to maintain the illusion. And that's essentially what Psychopathic does. They try not to ever break character, and they try not to ever let you peek behind the curtain to see what goes on, because it would destroy the magic or whatever. And I think this is just an excuse. I think there's so much drama behind the scenes, so much infighting or whatever. I think that they're embarrassed to let people peek behind the curtain. And it's like that thing, rumors have a little bit of truth to them. You can convince someone that a rumor is true. So maybe they do want to maintain that illusion a little bit, but they use that as an excuse. At any rate, there's a reason why wrestling isn't as popular now as it was in the 80s and 90s. Society changes, times change, and wrestling can't even get away with running a company like that anymore. Because wrestling just isn't as popular as it used to be. Now people are into mixed martial arts or whatever. There's still bullshit, but there's not as much. And it's not completely based around the idea that the viewers are idiots, which that's where wrestling came from. It was just a big effort to work the crowd. I mean, they call their fans marks, for crying out loud. This is a grifting term. A mark is someone that you take advantage of that doesn't know what's really happening. You know, back in the day, wrestling was primarily a way to get people to bet on sports, to bet on the winners, and then the fights would actually be staged so that to ensure, you know, better profits for the bookers, for people who are betting on these things. And those are the roots. Even though it's not the same as it was, it's still built upon a foundation of secrecy and manipulation. And that's what Psychopathic is trying to build their business on a foundation of.